Hello everyone and welcome to Ginger Prime. My name is Brian if you happen to be new here, and today we're diving into Nightingale for the first time. Now this is a lunch and loot, and if you're new to the channel, what that generally means is it's roughly going to be about an hour plus stream. I'm taking an hour off of work for lunch to hang out and play some video games. Now also, this gameplay that you're going to be seeing today is on GeForce now. I've added a nice little logo as I cough uncontrollably into the mic. I've added the logo to the stream because if you're generally curious, I do the vast majority of my gaming on GeForce Now, and I continue to advocate that more games come to the platform. Namely, I would love to see Square Enix games actually step into this arena. They have a handful, like Octopath Traveler, which is exciting, but I'd love to see Final Fantasy. I'd love to see so many of their just amazing games added to this service, and so I'm going to continue to advocate for that. Now, I am not sponsored by GeForce Now, but I just wanted to communicate the gameplay that you're seeing. I'm going to be playing in Ultrawide at 120 frames per second. GeForce Now enables me to do that while live streaming, even though I have a decent computer. It's like actually having a super high-end computer right next to my computer, only it's somewhere that's not physically located in my house. It's an incredible service. I cannot recommend it enough to people, especially if you're looking to have the high-end power of PC gaming with the cost or the barrier for entry as console. So I think it is a system that blends the best of both worlds. But I'm gonna kill the game or the soundtrack music. I'm gonna also go ahead and increase the sounds of Nightingale so we can kind of get that full experience in the game itself. And yeah, so from the my view, I actually have a little bit more on the left and the right in terms of the view, and this just generally seems to be kind of a really good placement for that. But we'll go ahead and pick on a new profile and see what all this is about. Also, as just a note, if you guys want to get involved in the Discord, the top link in the description will get you there. We'll also get you to the podcast and any other content that I make. And I like to hang out with you guys in Discord and talk about video games and life and so much more. You're always welcome to join in, just like the fine folks who are with me right now. Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing today?
Doing pretty well, sir. Yourself?
I'm doing good, man.
Emotional damage.
I don't understand the context of that one, dude.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
I'm having emotional damage over here because I have to fucking clean.
Oh, we got to clean? All right.
It happens.
All right, archetype. Let's see here. There we go. All right, sweet action Jackson. Oh man, look at the eyes on this guy.
Jeepers Creepers, where do you get those eyes?
I don't know, man. Like they just look like, was it
That's
like
a good movie though? That's
Jeepers Creepers?
Yeah,
Jeepers
I haven't seen
the
Jeepers
first one-
Creepers in years.
The first one with Justin Long, dude, it's good.
Okay, I need to put that back on the watch list. Age 43. Can I make myself younger? 41. I don't know what age has to do with it.
Slow.
It is going really, like, I don't think they want you to be young. All right, cool. And then voice.
You can't.
Are you streaming this in ultra wide?
Yeah. So whenever like I get to do a GeForce Now game, I literally play in ultra wide. And so now I'm not pushing the stream out in ultra wide. I don't know how to do that. So I just keep it in terms of the 1080p ratio. Ancestry, story, academic, statesperson, tradesperson, hermit, officer. Ooh, officer. A military officer accustomed to both the rough living of the field and the cavorting with the Regency, having joined the armed forces at a young age. Loss and destruction, humanity's capacity for horror. Ne'er-do-well, a petty criminal with few aspects. I like ne'er-do-well. I like to work ne'er-do-well in any of the conversations that I'm having fun with. Let's see. Vagrant.
Oh yeah, which also, Brian, I'm enjoying my ultra wide.
What the hell?
Dude, ultra-wide is so nice, dude. Select parent.
Thank you for giving me the suggestion of getting it, spending a little extra to get it, and I'm actually enjoying it very much.
What the hell? What's with this handset? What the hell is this?
Don't know, man. All right, that's gonna be my parents, I guess.
I'm
It's
confused.
like grandparent.
And you can select great grandparents too. Oh man, that's intense.
Okay, so it's like building out a little family tree. there we go. Oh. Linear, man. We'll keep on doing it. Well, how far
Quite
back?
Quite the diverse background, Brian.
Dude, I'm a mutt. I've always been one, man. It's like I got namely more Italian than anything else, but
yeah,
still it's funny. All right, I think we almost got the lineage down. There we go. Perfect. All right, inheritance. What the hell, man? Okay. What does this even mean?
Oh, it adjusts your facial features.
Oh, to be more like my.
To be more like your ancestors.
Okay. All right.
It's a slight difference.
Yeah, slight difference. Fascinating. All right, step 2: customize your appearance. Skin tone, molded redness. Let's get that redness up. Can't really tell a difference. Scars.
Yeah, there is a difference, slight difference.
Skin, hair.
Dude, those eyebrows, man. That's
Look
intense.
at those. I know, man. I like it. Facial hair. Oh, let's get. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. 100%.
Yes.
Also, huge shout out. This game was gifted to me by the community here. So thank you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, Randy, I won't drop his last name, but it's like Randy sent it over to me just the other day because like I was planning on picking up this game with the this month, but we had some, anybody who's lived any kind of life where they have a budget and etc. knows that there's unforeseen expenses that just randomly like to crop up and like punch you right in the nuts occasionally. And that was this month. So I was like, and I shifted every dollar that I had left in my video game budget, which ended up being like, I was like, well, I'll wait till March to pick this up. So thank you, Randy, for helping me get this game here in February, which is great. And the fact is, like, it just like this with Enshrouded, like it just makes the fact that it runs on GeForce Now something where it's like, yeah, it becomes very easy because I'm also playing on controller to play around with. I wish I was somebody who loved making and spending time in character creation. I guess if I was more into the combat, like that becomes important, like as the investment goes in. Difficulty, equip.
No, it just changes what your character looks like. I don't think it has
Easy,
anything
survivalist,
to do with-
prepper. Paris. We'll go with medium. Realm. The higher the realm power, the more challenging the realm. All right, I don't know what that means. Finalize. Character name. Let me just Gladys, Iva, Leona, Mark, Josie, Roscoe, Hazel, Ed. I look like an Ed.
What's up, Kirk?
Before time
Good name.
itself, the realms have existed.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, dude?
Born of curiosity.
What's going on, guys?
we open
Not much, man. Can you hear us?
gateway to our endless
What's up, Kirk?
Can he hear us?
Kirk, can you hear us?
Yes.
Or do you hate us?
Well, he said, "What's up, guys?" like twice, and I'm like,
live and breathe.
I don't know.
Magic.
Testing.
magic. Hey, can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Tolerance.
Testing?
Yes, we can hear you.
Testing 1 2.
Extended reach.
I'll just
Are you
DM
looking
him.
at the split-
We can hear
split
you.
tea?
We can hear you.
Face of power.
Oh yeah, I can hear you guys.
Oh, there we go. Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, but it was. I had to get Discord to recognize my headset.
Ah,
again.
yes. Dude, every time like there's a Windows update, it's like audio settings just get
All in its power.
yeeted into existence.
And then it's like, we've noticed
Some
you have a
flavors
different
ever spreading
input. Do you want to change it? And I'm like, no, I
No.
never want to change it.
Right.
I'm like,
I never have this issue.
Only to be
I don't know what it is, but like
Dude,
people complain.
I think that's what they call privilege.
Yeah, I mean,
That was such a great.
I had to take Lono to school.
That
this
was
week.
such a great segment. If you guys have not seen Kirk and Lono debate over exclusives, I thought it was the best hour and a half of content that I've seen this week.
Kirk is always full of passion.
Kirk, pro or for or against exclusives?
Against third-party contractual exclusives. I would never say that Sony needs to put Last of Us and God of War on other platforms, but
Okay, so for first-party exclusives, but not third-party. Okay.
yeah, I don't think it's realistic to expect Nintendo to put Mario everywhere or what. I mean, it'd be nice in Fantasyland, but stuff like Final Fantasy.
That's a fair.
In our wish list utopia, like video game world, yes, like I fall in that same category. Like it's like that's what I want to work towards, but I know that it's just going to take so many things that I'm like, all right, let's focus on third party and let's get that as a victory.
I probably share the same opinion. Do I like exclusives? Not really, but I understand why they exist.
Yeah, but Lono was arguing that like he's glad that Final Fantasy VII Trilogy and like Final Fantasy 16 are only on PlayStation because then that makes the game better for him on PlayStation. And I was like, that is the definition of being privileged.
But your point and what I've like even said to you was,
how does that make it better for if it's exclusive to PlayStation? How does it make his PlayStation?
Supposedly it's more
he argues it allows them more time to optimize to make a better, higher quality
timed exclusive solves that problem.
Always the case.
Yeah, but timed exclusive solves that problem because at the end of the day, like, I agree from a development perspective, it is way easier to focus in on one platform, but then after that work has been completed and that focus has been done, like there's plenty of companies also that from a third party perspective, like if you don't want your internal resources dedicated towards it, the question ends up being, and Lono's fair point is that is there a business, darn it, I cannot invert my controls. This is going to be awkward. Is there a business level like where you're like, it's not even worth hiring a third party? And unfortunately, we don't actually know that, but I don't think it feels like a logical thing where you're like, oh, yeah, we could put this game over here and sell another 1 million copies. How is that not profitable? I don't know.
But realistically, how much more expensive is it to port to other consoles using the same exact assets and everything?
I was surprised by how
work on every console.
How much he was like arguing for the fact that like if it's not like it might not be a good profitable decision for.
Yeah, but that's also a hardcore PlayStation viewpoint, right? Because PlayStation has the most to lose.
I wonder if
PlayStation has the most to
I don't know
lose.
if it's a hardcore PlayStation viewpoint or that's just relegated to the people who exclusively play on consoles.
Well, and Lono's also like an extreme, like I would say, like pro capitalism, pro business, pro free market. Businesses should be able to do whatever they need to do to make the actual most money.
Right, but at the same time, his opinion is anti-capitalist.
Yeah, because the exclusives are fighting capitalism. Because the true
consumer, you mean?
The true reality is that if there was no exclusives, you would see more people entering the hardware industry. Like you wouldn't see Sony and Microsoft. You would see Panasonic. Like you'd insert other company that's like, I want to go ahead and make a product. Much like we were seeing the exact same play out with the Acer, a Rogue Ally, the Steam, deck, it's all of a sudden it's like when you don't have the fact is like, oh, I don't have to have 20 years of nostalgia and brand loyalty baked in. I can just launch a game and I can try to provide either the best service, the best hardware, or something that I feel like there's a market for, and then the market gets to decide in that case. Right now, like that choice is limiting because it is more protectionists, and that's why I tend to see that theory presented by PlayStation players, and less than Nintendo, because Nintendo is like its own little category. We're all like, that's just Nintendo, right? Like they brainwashed us to think that what they're doing is perfectly fine, when at the end of the day, like, no, like if you look at it from a capitalist perspective, competition, like I've argued this, and is that IP, let's say Mario, there is no Mario equivalent on any other platform, right? we have video games are a special category where they're a preferred monopoly, and people want to gravitate to where people are playing and what people are playing. It is this weird cultural thing that does not apply to other forms of media. And what I was telling Kirk in our just DMs as we were kind of talking about it as I was listening to the show, because I have access to his DMs, and I was like, hey man, this is great. I was saying, like, why then not other media? Why can't Sony movies only be watched on Sony TVs, right? Like, it doesn't actually make sense. And I could guarantee if they had that ability to do that in the past, they would have, because they tried with the beta. Like, there's been such a fight for these companies to have basically control of the distribution mechanics, and that has, in my mind, limited choice. That all being said, I'm still pro timed exclusive. I think timed exclusive solves all the issues, because you want to develop for one platform, not a problem. Not a problem at all. Like, do that. We get it from a development and a cost perspective, but after the fact, all right, like, who, I don't know. I just can't get behind Lono's logic or the argument of, like, that exclusives are actually benefiting me as a consumer. Anyway, Cameron, I was cutting you off during, sorry, go ahead.
I've been trying to say something for a little bit too.
So the pro free market. I have an opinion against the word capitalism, but regardless. So the pro free market decision would be for the company to make as much money as possible, which would be to spread the game on as many platforms as possible to rake in that dough. Right. The anti-free market position is pure exclusivity, because they're not making as much money, and it's not in the benefit of the corporation for pure exclusivity. Or at least it's not that much in the.
Well, Lono's argument is it takes longer for that product to come to market for them to make money off of it if they have to develop for other platforms, and it allows them to focus on quality because they can optimize it for one platform. Is basically where his take comes from. So he's saying it's not as profitable because they have to take longer to make money on it at all. And it costs more money for it to take longer.
He also argues that because that focusing on one platform, he gets a better product.
Yeah.
That
Which
I would
is
argue
arguable.
It's
unmeasurable. It's a non-statement.
That's what I said. Yeah, because I was like, how do we know what the disparity in quality is? I mean,
how can he prove that with not just like feeling
tons of
or opinion,
multiplayer
but
games
with
come
actual
out
data,
super high quality.
Yeah.
How does he compare?
The multiplayer games, the multi-platform games are also the absolute dominant factor in all of this. It's the exclusives make up such a small percentage of these games, like Elden Ring, right? Like Elden Ring's a great example. Yeah, it might have had a stutter bug here and there, like at launch, but that's also fixable. There wasn't, like, it just seems like, did that ruin people's experience? No, Elden Ring's beloved, right?
Elden Ring was a pretty polished game, not gonna lie.
It was still polished, right? Like, I didn't have issues, but some people did.
Issues. Like, I played through the game, beat the game, have over 100 hours in it. I didn't really experience any bugs. There were some AI issues, like, but it's AI. What do you expect, right?
There was very few issues with that game when I played it, and I played it from the first day it was out on.
I brought Elden Ring up as an example of a good multi-plat game, and Lono was like, "Oh, it didn't run well on PC," and I was like, he said just because you didn't experience the issues does not mean it didn't have issues. I'm like, well, you perceiving the issues is the only thing that matters. Really, it doesn't matter if there were issues if you personally don't experience them.
Yeah, I bring up my experience with, like, New World, right? Like, during the preview event, like, I didn't experience a single bug, but, like, everyone else experienced bugs galore.
Hit the tree and you didn't get wood. 0 out of 10 game.
0 out of 10.
And then
so funny, dude. That's so funny.
And then I played the what's it called? The game launched, and I experienced bugs galore, and I'm just like, what is this? It was weird. I was like, the outlier. But yeah,
This
I mean,
game is
bugs,
gorgeous, by the way.
Oh,
The,
dude,
like
yeah,
the lighting in
it's
particular.
breathtaking, and the audio design on it is absolutely immersive. Like, and then I wish like y'all could see like the ultra wide set like it in it, because it just is like every pixel across this. It just feels like I'm in this whole other world.
This was a great get. I'm excited to review this on the show because yeah, like it's like an ongoing game, you know, and like reviews for those don't usually come out right away. So like we're kind of timely on it with it being a week later.
Yeah, I'm really thankful that Randy was able to like gift me this. I wasn't asking anybody to. I was just like, oh well, guys, sorry, I'm gonna have to wait till March to pick this up, and I'm just really happy that I don't have to wait till March.
Kudos to Randy.
I feel
Kudos to
that with
Randy.
Skull and Bones. Like I don't think like that's one reason I'm playing that game so much is like I don't think I could afford to like play any like buy any other games that are coming out right now.
So,
Yeah, there's so many good games right now, dude. Like, and to your
I mean,
point,
obviously you
especially
got
about
Helldivers, but I just
Oh,
need to sync
Helldivers
up with
is
you
good.
guys to
Oh,
play that.
actually, one of the things that I want to do, and you're welcome to, we'll figure it out, because I was hanging out with a bunch of the comics yesterday, and we were all just like, Helldivers is so good. So I want to try to also put together, I want to play with you and Mark and just like get another squad.
Did you see that video that I tweeted y'all about like why like Helldivers vibes or whatever?
I saw that you tweeted it at me. I have not watched it.
It's like a minute long.
Yeah. Well, I will. I'm just saying, like, I hit bookmark
It was
on
just,
it.
like, goofy. Like
Yeah.
she's like, all right, like all of our men are like going off to war again or like whatever, and so she's like they've got to do their duty, and you know like that's what comes first is saving Super Earth and democracy. And she's like, but you know if you're like wanting to engage with your man or whatever, like here's some things to say, and it's like phrases. It's like, I'm doing you my part, now go do yours. Or stuff like that. It was so funny.
That's awesome.
And she was like, you might get enlisted to the cause. You might get enlisted for another cause. You never know what's going to happen when you say these things to your husband. And it was just like kind of funny.
That is awesome, dude. Yeah, I was like, I saw that you sent that. I was like, all right, bookmark, because I was busy helping Julie with the kids, and I was like, whenever like any video pops up, I'm always like, I don't want kids to be within earshot, you know, because I never know what we're gonna get.
Yeah.
All right, found some rocks. I need more rocks. There we go. Awesome. Build a campfire. Okay. Let's see here.
This game gives me weird Hogwarts Legacy vibes, and I bet it's because it's like supposed to be set in like the same region of the world. Like I bet this is like Highlands topography.
Yeah, I'm an officer in a red coat, so I think that makes sense. That checks out.
it's like
How do I build?
sort of a weird like Victorian Shakespearean thing.
Yeah, it's steampunk as well.
Yeah.
Okay, cooking. Roasted berries. Nope. Okay. Building.
Are you
Hold on.
usually a big survival guy, or are you just on a kick right now because of the games that have come out?
Dude, actually, turns out I love freaking survival RPGs. Like, it's like they are they tap into this Final Fantasy XI nostalgia that is literally just like, oh yeah, like it's the world's dangerous. There's like all, you know, you want to consider all these different things, and it's also in a weird way very relaxing. You know, so it's like, okay, cool, I'm gonna do this, and the thing that I'm like always up against is literally just running short on like time to play, because like Pal World dominates like every screen when the kids are home, and so it's like I'm just trying to find and squeeze some time in, and
yeah,
that's
your
where
achievement score is still beating me this month, even though I have 50 hours in Skull
Dude,
and Bones.
that's the whole-
Kids won't stop playing.
kids won't stop playing, dude. Give me those achievements, son. Like, Brian, your gamer cred, man. You tell people, like, how do you do it? I'm like, I literally have minions.
Delegate.
Place. Okay. All right. I'm gonna say this, and I'm sure there's maybe a better way to do it, but like the crafting, I think could have been way more easily accessible. All right. Let's see here and confirm. All right. Do I need a auto add resources? Okay. Interesting. Auto add resources.
I would have loved it if we could have gotten Pacific Drive in your hands, and if you had time to play it, I would have loved to have known what you thought of that game, because it was it heavily leaned on survival elements in gameplay, and I would be curious, like, what somebody who's been enjoying these games like Power World and Enshrouded would think of it. Obviously, me and the Pure Dead Gaming folks thought it was like pretty bizarre.
Looks pretty interesting.
Like the controls setup for this seems a little bit daunting. I'm gonna switch to keyboard and mouse and see if that ends up helping out dramatically. Autofill, manage fuel. Okay, plant fiber and sticks. Okay, add selected. Confirm. Ignite. Okay. Close. All right. I'm assuming I'm doing something.
You have to put stuff in the pot.
Thought I did.
No,
Crap.
you just
Oh,
lit
crap.
the fire.
There we go.
You just lit the fire.
I'm a pro gamer, guys. It took me 18 minutes to craft some berries. Oh, man.
that's
It's just
exactly what
Joe
my
says, I
experience
think
was with
Elden
Power
Ring's
Wars.
bugs were connection with friends, kind of like what was going on with Helldivers 2. Like, yeah, like the bugs. I think there were some performance things. I remember people talking about like stuttering and stuff, but I think that was quickly resolved. So I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, it seems like a weird thing to be like, you know, hey.
By the way, Skull and Bones season 1 dropped last night.
Oh, wow.
Before Suicide Squad, which it came out how long ago?
Yeah, Suicide Squad is not doing well.
No.
Now, Suicide Squad, like, I just felt like I was like, you know what? For you, Kirk, I'll throw $100 down the tube.
In hindsight, probably not the best move.
That's fine. Eat roasted
I think
berries.
there was some potential for us to cover a looter shooter live service game that was going to have a particular niche of people that were into it.
If
And
it
unfortunately, the game has no niche of people that are into it.
What would be really cool, and one of the things that, like, I'm perfectly fine if we want to jump back into that game in the future to kind of see how it evolves, because that's really the live service games are absolute, like, difficult to kind of get a picture of how they're going to function at the start, because like, all right, we didn't get the player base, or we didn't make them enough money, so there's like always this like, well, should I invest my time? So chicken and egg. But if the game's still going strong, Joker drops, etc., they like whether the season drops, I'll see if we can get Comic Storian on with us as well, because I know he put out some videos on Suicide Squad. But the other thing about it as a content creator, like, I don't want to put the word suicide in a video title, because I did, and it's like it took 2 weeks before YouTube's algorithm started saying, you know what, we'll recommend this guy's videos again. Like, it's like, it feels like it's just like, hey, do you like making videos and having people watch them? Yeah? Well, don't talk about this game. I'm like, all right. Okay, guys.
Yeah, that's rough.
And I'm not at the size where it's like, naturally the community is like, I really need to know Brian's thoughts on Suicide Squad. Nobody cares. It's like,
No.
Like,
Yeah, and it would have been all about people being like, I really like this game, and all the discourse is negative, you know. And with you having the live service background, I just thought there was potential there for
Oh no, you're not
sort of
wrong. I think we did the right thing. I just was like, I don't think it's going to be something.
Just destroyed it.
Yeah. And then it also doesn't help that they're a pedigree narrative Batman, you know, like Arkham, you know, that's what people wanted. And so if they made that, and they also happen to say, hey guys, we also have this game as a service game, much like Grand Theft Auto 5 did, I think then all of a sudden people aren't feeling robbed because they didn't get the game that they were that they wanted.
Wait, but is that what happened to my channel though? Because my last 2 videos since that video have just been absolutely awful.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, and it's like, and that's where it's like, and it takes, you know, like I post enough so that it's like, all right, I know I'm in the doghouse with YouTube right now. Like, I just got to keep posting, and I'll eventually climb my way back out of it.
You've avoided embarrassment.
Yeah, that's not going to
by
be good for
staving
me.
off starvation. We must carry the portals.
It's not going to be good for me at all.
No, you'll be fine. We also have
kinda
it.
just
I also
waiting
have
for
it
the
now.
next-
I have it with you now where it's like when you post a video, it should like there's the Kirk channel in the Discord, so people can kind of subscribe, so we can start trying to push more of your videos as soon as they go up.
Yeah, I need another opportunity to do something clever like I did with like Tekken.
Yeah.
Like obviously that review was pretty much based on
Early access,
the demo and hours of my own research.
The
so I wasn't embargoed.
Mike, the same offer goes to you if you want when you start making videos regularly.
Yeah, sure.
Like I would like to, if I can help people do cool stuff, man, let me know. Let's see here, and that also applies to anybody watching and listening.
I'm going to making more and stuff, but then life keeps getting in the way.
I really want us to do some stuff with that Chrono guy in the Epic Loot Radio chat.
If he wants to jump into some Final Fantasy 14 as well, like that would be a really good, easy conversation and a great way for me to introduce him to the wider work to game community, which is great to see. Like
about that this morning.
Yeah, I would love to do that, and I would absolutely. I think that sounds like a great opportunity to collab with Chrono and then also talk more Final Fantasy.
Presentation value and everything, like just like his thumbnails and like just his stream setup, like everything about it is like so polished that like I don't understand how he has like less than 1,000 subscribers. He doesn't get more than like 30 views on each of his videos. Like he just does not get any type of audience.
I'd have to go look at exactly kind of what he's posting and whatnot, but ultimately I have found that the more time and effort you put into a video can usually translate into like less views. And it generally is that when I see a lot of people saying like, I want this thing to exist, so I'm going to go and make it exist. And there's nothing wrong with that. But then you have to say like, is there a market? Is there like, from the viewer perspective, is the viewer looking for that information? And generally I find that I wanted it, but nobody actually was truly interested.
Yeah, that's the disparity between like you and I's content creation mindset, and we approach that in very, very different ways. Like I know that I am put a lot of effort into something polished type of creator, so I like specifically target games or videos where I'm gonna do that, where it's gonna maybe hit. And then you're like, I just put stuff out and out and out and out, and people will consume it. But we both have that mindset or that methodology of like, we need to create content that like is actually of value or in demand for people. And I think that there's a disparity between like us and then like people in like Ray and Rudik's community who just go out there and make, they just stream and like do whatever, and like they have a like great community, and I'm envious of that. But yeah, like it's just the people in that community that like consume that content.
Yeah, and that's where like I definitely feel blessed by this community that they support my ridiculousness and me like, I'm just gonna throw it against the wall. Now I have decided like focusing on a shift to quality where it's like with the state of the game, like if I think of it as like a product, like state of the game is like this high end, hyper researched, hyper edited video that I want to have a long, like have a nice life that anybody like in a year's time could sit down and come and watch it if they wanted to and still be entertained, informed, and interested in the subject. And then outside of that, it's like, gaming news in my mind, like it just needs the facts. And one of the things a lot of people have told me to try to do better at is that they want more of my opinion.
Spin and commentary are crucial. That's what Lono's so good at.
Good lord, like can I not go over here? Like, okay, is there a barrier? I guess there is. All right, I'm lost. We'll see if we can figure this out.
This is basically my Power World experience, like the experience you're having with this game right now.
Oh, I'm starving. Okay.
Yeah, that goes in line with that as well.
I did get some more berries. Okay. Roasted berries have been eaten. I can make some more roasted berries. Let me go see if my fire is still doing its thing.
But yeah, I think especially pairing like Chrono and Markup to do like Nintendo stuff, I think would be really cool. Like we could live react to directs together. We could do some SGF stuff together.
Yeah.
Just because your availability is like kind of tight.
Yes, that it is.
I'm excited for you to like bring the bring the reviewer commentary back, like I thought you did. I really enjoy. I was listening back to our Suicide Squad Spotify podcast in the car. I was like, this was a really good,
Yeah, it was a good show.
coverage podcast. Yeah, like when I can bounce off of you and like we both played it for hours, and can give that commentary. Like that's the best content, I think, for sure.
I definitely would say
Which
it's a
helps we can pad that out,
value-driven one. It's definitely value-driven content. All right, I can't make that.
Did you see like the
Hey,
random
what's up,
guy,
Epsilon?
the random guy from Germany that commented on the black not Black Flag, the Skull and Bones review, and he was like, everybody, all the streamers in Germany hate this game. So it was like broken English, but he was like, it was nice to view your video for someone who is not just bashing the game or whatever. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like we got like a random dude from Germany like watching our video.
Yeah, actually we have usually generally 5 to 6% of my audience is German, which is interesting. So.
Oh, okay.
The only thing I've heard about not Black Flag, Skull and Bones is that it's just very boring and empty.
It's not empty. Boring is pretty spot on, I would say. I don't know if it's just my upbringing, because I was basically told when I was younger that bored was a naughty word. Like you don't say you're bored, you figure out something that you want to do or that's productive or whatever. So I don't like critiquing games by saying that they're boring. Like I'd rather find another analytical point of like.
The issue though is that if the game shouldn't be boring, and if the game is boring, then why do the game?
I usually would say it's the gameplay loop is not fun, and I can see how the gameplay loop in Skull and Bones could be not fun for people. But that's been a trend that I've noticed more recently as well.
Oh, man.
Is that gameplay loops will be rewarding more so than they are fun. Pacific Drive is the same way. I didn't really have fun playing Pacific Drive. However, I felt like it could be rewarding to play a lot of hours of it, like because it's work, like it's challenge, and then you get something tangible out of it. And like Skull and Bones is the same way, but the process of playing those games is not exactly fun, so to speak, like on a moment-to-moment basis. And I would assume the majority of video game players are looking for that fun. But I think both of those games are going to have their audiences for people that like more grindier, more challenge-based, like task versus reward type games. But yeah, no, they're not as fun as some of the other stuff that you could play on the market right now, like a Helldivers.
All right.
They just have deep progression systems, basically.
The chat's asking right now. He says, Brian, what's the worst job you ever had? And I have to say, hands down, I don't know how you guys feel, but streaming is absolutely the worst job. It's so taxing.
Would you say it's
Soul
socially draining?
Soul sucking.
I was gonna keep going. I was gonna keep going as seriously as I could, but when I heard that laugh, I couldn't even hold on to it. I was just like, oh my gosh, I've been seeing that clip, and I'm like, oh yeah, like
I saw that clip, and I'm just like, this guy.
Yeah.
How is this guy popular?
Now, I get the concept of social aspects that he kind of brought up, because when I've had to go and present all day at a job, I had to go do these not career fairs, but like we were a vendor at this medical expo, and I was there 9 hours just talking to people, and I'd wrap that up and I would go home, or I'd go back to the hotel and I would just crash. So there's an aspect that like I'm like, I'm exhausted from that, but like
streaming, you're sitting at home in your pajamas playing video games.
Runs through my
And you dictate how long you do it. My streams are reasonably capped at 3 hours. And it's like, regardless of like, oh no, the sub trains are rolling in, like, oh, I'm making money. No, it's not about that in my mind. And it's because, but it's like, I get like, oh, they're killing themselves. They're like the mindset of the streamer and Hassan and some people like that. I'm super concerned, because they're going to wake up in 30 or 40 years. And it's just like, what the F did I do with my life? Like, it's like I sat in front of a computer the whole time. Like, streaming is fun, but I think with anything, we got to talk about like, what's a good, healthy balance that both, content creation, content consumption, and it's just like, yeah,
also,
Hassan, I'm sorry that you're making so much money and that you're streaming 9 hours. Like, change it up, dude. Like, you're your own boss, right?
Wait, was that who did the clip? I've seen other clips of people saying that, but Hassan said
The
that.
extended context was that it's socially draining if you watch outside of the shorter clip, basically.
Yeah, it's so, and he's not wrong. Like, there's a social aspect that, but there's also, like, it also could depend on your personality too, because I'm extroverted. And so this time gives me energy, and I have to balance that with the addiction of that attention, right? Like, I have to specifically, and thankfully I have mechanisms in my life that allow me to step away, because I got to go take care of the kids and the wife and the family, because they are my priority and will always be so. But that's a natural, like, born in, like, well, like, I would like to keep playing. And if it was up to me, I probably would until I would die, And so this gives me that ability to step back and be like, yeah, there's a reason streams don't generally go past 3 hours. It's because at some point, like, I don't want to go downstairs to an angry wife and kids that don't know who their father is. It's like, okay, cool. Like, an hour, no big deal. Like, that's, like, everybody can, like, I try to give Julie the same amount of time I take in streaming. I try to then give it back to Julie so she can, like, yeah, go read a book or go, do the thing that you wanted to do that the kids were preventing you from doing,
So
I'm just watching the stream visuals right now, like, not in sync with your Discord audio. It's just you doing Italian hands in the air over and over again. Like, you're just like,
this is how I look on every time I film a video, but you don't see it because generally I use gameplay footage. I'm always like, hey, got the hands moving and,
So then I would ask Hassan, how often does Hassan stream? Does he stream every day?
Every day.
10 hours a day?
Basically every day for a ton of hours.
The thing is that if he stopped
That's because he's a streamer, not a content creator. His business model is not based around doing things. It's around being live at the exact moment everything happens. It's an
agreed, and it's about also taking other people's content. It's like in order to maintain that, it's like, let's go watch somebody else's hard work, and then we promoted them. Great, I'm glad you did that.
Asmongold is way worse about that.
Oh yeah, I like at the end of and the thing that's true about that though is that there is a lot of demand for that content, and I see it because, like, I try to reach out. I try to have, like, some kind of parameters, so I'm not, like, reacting to everything. And generally, if I can, I reach out and talk to the creator beforehand. But when it's all said and done, the numbers do show there is a hunger for that kind of content. And that goes back to kind of our earlier conversation. It's like, yeah, people are putting all this work into this bucket, but the hunger for the content's over here. I would, though, postulate maybe Chrono would have more success if reaction content wasn't as incentivized in the algorithm, and people would actually be hungry to go and look for new information, as opposed to, like, just waiting for somebody to curate their viewing experience.
I will say about Hassan, though, I feel like most of his reaction content is more about television and, like, the media, especially news media. I don't feel like the majority of his reaction content is from stuff from other creators. And then when he does do stuff from other creators, it's usually, I know you've talked about, like, cannibalizing videos in the past, but it's usually, like, bigger creators like Ludwig or something, and he's, like, kind of spotlighting their video almost. But I do know that can also kind of take away from that creator's stuff. But I think he has a good content model when it comes to reacting to news and, like, television type media, because he's capitalizing on an audience that doesn't want to go to those platforms to consume that. They want to consume it on the Twitch platform.
Correct.
And I think that's why he's been so successful, is he's appealing to the Twitch base with the content that is television by providing it in a way that makes it more palatable because of the commentary that he's providing. And I think that's genuinely, like, he has genuine talent to do that.
Yeah.
And I think also it's very taxing for him to do that, because basically he has to constantly justify why you want to consume it on his platform specifically.
Yeah.
And
he
so
could,
while
like,
those
if he
comments
stops
come off
doing what he's
out of
doing, like, he's going to be forgotten. And that's one of the things that is the danger. Like, that's where it's like, if you're not posting, if you're not live, like, it's like the incentive model is to be live as much as possible, because also he's in that top echelon. And what happens is that you're in that spot, and I've talked to people, like some people have described it as it feels like a curse, because if you take a break, you're gone, you know, and it's like,
That's
and
why
to build back up.
Out.
Yeah. Well, and this is the thing, like, I don't think it's sustainable. And I think a lot of people, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think a lot of people are going to wake up and, you know, unfortunately 20 or 30 years when it's too late and be like, holy crap, dude. Like I dedicated it and then it's gone. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe they'll have like insane amounts of relevancy.
Point and then they don't care anymore. Like they've done what they want to do. Like we've seen that a lot. Like in terms of like how PewDiePie's content model has changed. Dado said that after Final Shape, he's basically gonna just do a year-long sabbatical, and then he may come back, he may not. Like I think people who have done it at the top long enough are like, I kind of did what I wanted to do. I don't want to do this forever.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody kind of reaches that point on their own clock.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to see though. Like I know there's definitely people out there that are like, what do you mean Dado's not going to make any more content? It's like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know if it's just because I'm not like a huge Dado fan or something, but I like, it's nice to see like, oh, like he's going to take some time for himself. Like that's nice. Like I think that's like a good thing. I like seeing that. If Hassan said he was going to disappear for 6 months, I mean, I would watch Hassan when he comes back. Not that I watch Hassan a lot, but I would watch him when he comes back after 6 months. You know, like that's not a problem for me. I think he should take 6 months off. You know, maybe after the election or something. But
yeah, and then going into an election season for that kind of political commentary, it's like. He's
gonna blow up all over again.
But also like that's just like where when a Destiny expansion happens, like we talked to My Name Is Bife about this, and he's like, you know, Destiny is a feast and famine model where it's like you really only get your bread during like this hype period, and then it dies down, and then you have to like do the work and figure out how to survive, and then you get the hype season back again. And I'm like, man, like. That's where I was like, I'll tell people, like, as a parent, like, that's just not feasible. Like, it's just like, if you want to have kids and this, like, you can't, I don't think you can do both. And that's where, you know, I'm like, man, I hope you don't sacrifice, you know, if you want to have a family, you know, for streaming, because, like, it could be gone tomorrow. Like, who knows? Comfort level, short rest.
Yeah, True Vanguard pivoted off of a lot of. He doesn't do as much Destiny content anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I announced my retirement from Final Fantasy 14 like what 18, 19 months ago, and it's like I knew the backlash was
in a couple years.
Yeah, like 2 years this October, so it's like roughly, you know, about a year and a half. The and it's like I knew that I was going to get backlash because I knew that that's the side of the community that actually, but I was like, yeah, the people who were like, yeah, this totally makes sense. Like more like 99% of the responses are like overwhelmingly positive. It's like, yeah, man, you know, it's like no one's, you know, like we don't want people to do things that they don't want to have, you know, aren't having fun with. And it's like, yeah,
was
like
your Prime set up as a Final Fantasy 14 channel though, or
not initially. Like I actually specifically kept Final Fantasy content off of the Prime channel because I did not want to limit my ability to make other videos. And no offense,
as we see now with Work to Game.
Yeah, well, yeah, and it's like, so I did eventually bring my Final Fantasy 14 content to the channel, but I've kept it relatively lean, so I'm not covering the news.
Mainly just your controller guides. I think.
Right? The things that I'm like, yeah, this will be helpful for people. I need to eat. Okay. Do I have 6 maybe?
Can I eat the too, when you announced your retirement, I guess quote unquote retirement from FF14, like there are people who like Mike, you know, they're just like, oh yeah, I saw this coming a mile away.
Yeah.
Like there were a bunch of people who have been watching you for a while and just like were not surprised. Yeah. And I was like,
like, and it's like, we lost Rock. Rock passed away, and it's like what am I doing? Like, you know, I'm not having like Final Fantasy 14 isn't going to become the MMO that I wish that it would become, but that's like, yeah, I think I'm okay with that.
Probably.
What's up?
It's probably started off as the MMO that you wanted to play.
It had its issues when 1.0 started for sure, but I was like, yeah, like, and I think that going into the 2.0 model. Yeah, and going into the 2.0 model, though, like, I was like, oh, we sacrificed these things. And so by Stormblood, and like, yeah, people say coming from a mile away, you could just go watch any of my Stormblood content. It's like, I didn't think, and I actually I like Stormblood now, but I like their story now, with Bozja being something that I felt concluded Stormblood. Like Bozja as a story, I felt like that was the missing piece in that expansion. But I was always hopeful that we continue to see them kind of bring in a little bit more of that sandbox MMO, that player, like the reason why I should go gather. And it's like, oh, it's just, they're just kicking the can. Like we're just in, like, all they've done is change the skybox, and you know, like, all right, like, and I'm like, that's fine. I get it from a business perspective, you know. But Yoshi P has continually advocated to take breaks from the game, right? You know, and it's like, oh, why am I fighting the thing that he's he is telling me how to play the game and to find the most joy in it? How about I just listen to him rather than try to tell him that he needs to make, you know, more MMO features, when it's like, yeah, I don't think the market's there for it. It is for me. And so I've went and found that in other games, that missing piece, like in New World and like in PAX Day. But again, yeah, like you know, I think it's all about trying to find that and maintain that balance.
Skull and Bones.
I'm not negative against Skull and Bones as a game as a service. I'm just like, I haven't gotten that hook. And that's also because Skull and Bones is a new IP. New IPs as games as service really will struggle because there's no nostalgia to fall back on, right? I haven't been playing the Skull and Bones RPG for 10 years and then like, yes, now I can play with my friends. You reverse that and you give me that nostalgia, and that will carry you through the bad times in any games as a service game. What's up, Lost? How you doing, dude? Anyway, that's the worst job I ever had.
Nice. That's actually an interesting point. Are there any successful MMOs even that are not just other IPs remolded into an MMO?
You know, like EverQuest, like the entry point. Ultima, though, was an existing IP, but EverQuest wasn't. But that's also one of the first to move into the space. So it ended up building off of that. Nowadays, though, and
also, where is it now?
Right.
New World is a brand new IP, right?
New World, brand new IP. There's no New World.
Okay.
And I said that I was like, New World's going to struggle because of that. But Amazon continues to say like they're all in on gaming. So I was like, no, Amazon's going to keep plugging away. And what they're building to is the Lord of the Rings online. They're going to work New World for 10 years as they
tech demo.
As they committed to it, meaning that New World gets to solve. We get to solve all these problems, and then we get to launch a beloved IP as an MMORPG. Like that in and of itself, unless they just absolutely crap the bed, will freaking crush, dude. Warcraft, as Lost is pointing out in chat, that's an existing IP. Like that's been out, you know, and they built off of that.
Not even that. It's a knockoff of another IP, as far as I'm aware. I think it's a knockoff on Warhammer, if I recall correctly.
Not necessarily, and there's such a wild history of Warcraft back through the 80s, with Warcraft 1 having nothing to do with what became of Warcraft 2, etc., etc.
Right.
Neon, you're party leader now, so if you want to switch us over.
Has been all over the place. And then, of course, baseline World of Warcraft was basically created to be a more casual version of EverQuest. Yada yada. That's just a muddled puddle of BS. Always has been.
Okay.
Oh, I got a knife. And is this that's a pickaxe? Hell yeah, dude. Okay, cool.
Banana bread.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
You call that a knife? I see you play knifey spoony before. Plant fibers. This is interesting because it's got the heat aspect to it. I'm like, okay, gotta keep.
I'm gonna say so far this has not been riveting exactly, but
yeah, that's why the thing I like about streaming is these conversations with you guys and with people who just want to chat in text form. That is what is enjoyable now. And I find I've been this entire time I'm actually having a really great time with this game. It's mysterious, it's fascinating. Is it the best survival RPG that I played? No, I think Enshrouded has it in spades over my initial impressions, but there's still aesthetics that I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna learn. There's this weird tree creature that I don't know if it's gonna try and kill me or or whatnot. So I'm going to avoid it. But it's neat. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, I would say if you guys are interested in what you've already seen, like, yeah, I would recommend this game without hesitation. But it is also an early access game. I'm sure I'm doing everything wrong, and I'm sure somebody who's watching this is a VOD. Be sure to sound off with VOD Squad in the comments. Will be like, Brian, like, oh man, you should keep looking at your quest log and whatnot, which I am, but I'm just
What is that tree thing?
I know, right?
Please leave the tutorial zone. I mean, dude, he's playing, he's having fun. Let him have fun. Like, he's learning the game. You can't rush that.
Death Monkey, he's cool. He can say whatever the hell he wants. I love that dude. Let's see here. All right, now can I craft? Okay, I'm also learning the key binds, which is like I tried it with controller, and it does work with controller, but I don't think it works how I wish that it worked.
Oh, Brian, how do we plan on covering Elden Ring?
Oh, the DLC. When's that set to come out? June 17th?
June 21st or something like that.
Okay.
Like, how do you want to even approach that?
I mean, are you guys up to the DLC basically? Like,
I'm not, and Brian is definitely not. And I don't think he's going to be either. It's just not feasible time-wise.
I could offer my hand.
Your hand in what?
Marriage.
No.
Oh.
Brian's already taken. In terms of like covering.
Yeah, we might need to get creators in to cover it, because I don't know that Brian can. I mean, I know, but
I mean, do I have to finish the base game to play the DLC?
Pretty much.
Well,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was trying to do the From Fridays, but we moved Crystal Core to Fridays. So what I need to figure out is how to just find time in my day. And ultimately, like, I love Elden Ring. I was like, this is great. I'm enjoying playing it. And then it's like, oh, and then 1,000 other games that I'm having fun with come out,
I wonder if we could, like, get somebody to give you an account, like, not their account, but like, I wonder if we could get somebody to, like, play through the base game and then, like, give you an account, because I see it's like people do that for streamers or YouTubers a lot, like, give you an account that's, like, ready to play the DLC. I wonder if that's something that we could, like, get. I don't know.
I don't think it's necessary. If I can't get hands on with it, like, oh, am I hurting myself? Heat stroke? That's just crazy. All right, I need to make 2 more things. I'm looking for more.
Do you think you'll play Rebirth by the end of the year?
Yes. I'm loving, like, one of the things that I want to play.
I was gonna say,
I want to finish Remake here real soon.
I'll make a pact with you that I'll play Final Fantasy VII Part 1 and Part 2 if you play Like a Dragon Part 1 and Part 2.
Yeah,
both by December.
I do want to.
And
oh, by December,
that
Game
of the year to Elden Ring.
Then we did that. Why? Oh, Elden Ring.
Yeah.
No, I think that sounds fine. Like, I want to play, like, because you're
You're gonna
the way
love
you
Like a Dragon so much. Oh my god, I can't wait. Like, you're gonna be like, what? This is the game that I wasn't playing. Like,
oh yeah, that's
it's one of those games that you can't stop talking about. Like, I don't know if you paid attention to Twitter, or like if you were on that side of Twitter with like all the like industry folks that were playing it early and stuff that finally got to talk about it when the embargo lifted. But my entire feed was just people being like, yeah, I think Infinite Well is like one of the best games I've ever played, and it's super fun too.
What are these things?
I don't really know why Infinite Wealth got so much love though, and like got like basically a 9 out of 10. Like, I think it's sitting around like an 88 to 90 on Metacritic.
Mm-hmm.
But the first one didn't get any of that, like, because they're kind of the same. But I guess people just kind of warmed up to that concept or those games. I'm not really sure.
Brian, real quick, you're starving and you're losing health.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I'm trying to find food. But I'm also in the desert. I don't know what that means.
You should be able to. I think there's an area where you can kill an animal, like a kangaroo rat thing.
Inventory.
Like
okay.
kangaroo.
Yeah, I got 14 life yet left. Is there any food? Just gonna starve to death. Or maybe I should just see if I can craft something real quick.
I'm just gonna work on those videos, by the way, instead of going live.
Oh, okay. There you go. I killed a tree. Sweet. Alright. I need food. Crafting, cooking. Do I have meat to roast? No. Do I have roasted berries? Got nothing. Oh, wait. I do. 1 second. So I need building, campsite. And I do it with 3 life left.
But yeah, what you were talking about with the Suicide Squad, like After Effects, that's really bad. That's like, that could almost be like channel killing for me. Like, I gotta figure out a way to get over the hump there, because I mean, it's I guess it's just gonna have to be NCAA football or something that comes up that's like, people are just going to be searching for it, because otherwise, yeah, it's basically limiting any other traffic to the channel in that case. Because I went from getting thousands of views to getting tens, basically.
Come on.
Yeah, people try to get around. I don't think you can get less than 1 health. Have less than 1 health.
Wow! Freaking clutch! Oh my
there are ways
goodness!
to get around the sensors. Like, yeah, there are certain words that will.
That's why, if you guys noticed, I started calling it SS, KDGL or whatever. It's like, all right, we're abbreviating this.
I mean, people use euphemisms for.
I mean, it doesn't seem to be affecting Reforge, I'll say that.
Well, that's the thing. He's got such an engaged community, like that's like, oh, I'm there for him as opposed to like the game. That I just don't have that, and that, you know, that's okay. Like, I'm not, like, you guys are the best. Like I don't know. I don't want to ever feel like I need more. It's like, no, I'm very happy. Autofill. I'm glad I found that autofill option there. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and eat this as well. Sweet action Jackson, baby. That salad wrap did save me, dude. Saved by veggies, man. That's been my story this last year. Broccoli power.
Doesn't help that I've forgotten the jump puzzle.
Thanks, Free from Illusions. Thank you so much. I wish I saw your comment a little bit earlier. At least I like came to that, which is great. All right, I'm gonna see. Can I make more mixed plants? I like this autofill option. That's nice, because like, it's weird though. Like, I have to press F then R. Like, I don't know. Like, the gamer in me is like, man, I wish I could. You know, like, I think if they keep working on it, I'm gonna give them some controller feedback, because I found it very difficult to like. How do I get into the build menu as a controller player? What's up, Cypher? How you doing, dude? All right, autofill and craft. I'm just gonna make as many of these as I can.
After like midway through March, I might end up taking like kind of a hiatus, another hiatus anyway, because there's really not any games coming out. Like,
If
like Hellblade.
if you're not like, like
Stellar Blade, I might try and do something for, but
yeah.
But still, it's like I can't get any games early, so maybe there'll be like a demo or something I can get clever with. But like, I probably could have. Well, I wouldn't have done that. So for something like Rebirth, And the same thing goes for the Infinite Wealth demo. Like
Yeah.
those are like 90-hour RPGs. I'm not gonna do a review. Like I'm not.
My plan is, and if I get some time tonight, like I'm gonna continue my remake playthrough. The thing though that I'm finding that I'm like, I want to hang out with you guys in voice chat, but it's so narrative. Like there's just so much exposition constantly be dilled out, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, gotta mute. So I might end up just being like, sorry guys, like I'm just gonna play through the story piece of it and you know, get the win. And then, because I really like, I'm like, I haven't even been looking for Rebirth information, but every whisper is just like, it's just one of the best games they've ever made. And having played Remake so far, I really am like, oh, I really think that I would have loved to seen this in 16, as you know. So I'm glad that Rebirth isn't adopting 16's combat engine. I'm glad they're sticking with this.
I've actually seen a lot of discourse saying that Rebirth is not as good as Remake.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Kind of Funny was especially low on it. They gave it a 3 out of 5.
Whoa! Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, hopefully.
What was the reasoning?
Terrible like story pacing and payoff and threads.
Well, it is
like basically. It sounds like
two.
the criticism is that it is very much a filler game. Yeah, like part 2 in a trilogy.
It's part 2 in a trilogy, so you're not gonna get that satisfaction at the end of it.
Yeah, but also I think it's like
that's not necessarily true. But
I think it's like the fact that they were saying that like the story pacing is off, and that like you'll start gaining some momentum, and you're like going in a certain direction narratively, and then it's like, okay, we're gonna leave that thread behind for like 10 hours and have you do something completely different, and then come back to that, and then now you're back to it, and you're like, oh, what was I doing again? And you're like, oh yeah, that thing I was really hyped about that like we didn't do anything in regard to for 10 hours. Like it's just like weird stuff like that.
Holy crap. That tree fell down and scared me. All right, let's see here. I mean, do I need to hit save it all?
Does that have to do with the direction or like writing or something?
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
On that note, guys, the lynch and loot, I have some work messages. We have a sprint due tomorrow, so I'm like, all right, I gotta make sure I'm getting all this stuff knocked out and taken care of. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you're watching this, especially as a VOD, I thank you so much for making it to this part of the video. And yeah, we'll be doing some more. I'm going to be playing some more Nightingale and giving you guys my thoughts on it, as well as, you know, I'm just learning and experiencing it.
Monday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be, well, I'm fine with like the concept of a review, but it's like I'm probably not gonna beat this game by Monday, so it's like I'm gonna give you guys as many hours as I can put into it, and give you guys
it's a survival game. I don't know that it's really a beat it type of game anyway. But
yeah, I don't generally play beat it type of games. They're just always like, yeah, I just keep playing this game for years and years and call it a day. All right, guys, is anybody live here that's in voice chat that I could raid to over on Twitch? And if so, let me know. If not, no worries. All right, I just wanted to make sure I didn't be like, I'm out of here, and you're like, oh no. Thanks guys so much for being here. Thanks for the likes on the YouTube side of things, and I will see you next time.